What up, boozers? With FooserX here, we're going to react. We are going to talk about fibro defense because I feel like that is a super underrated element to this game. And when you start understanding it and you start mastering fibro defense, you're going to start winning a lot of matches that you maybe shouldn't win. Or if you're equal to the other person offensively, you will have the edge. And you're going to get more possessions on the 5 row and more possessions on the 3 row. And it's really going to take your game to the next level because, at like all things being equal, when you have pro masters going against pro masters, they're passing and scoring at such a high percentage. But if one person is able to get one or two blocks on the 5 or three or four per game, like you're going to win because your offense is so much better. And so, especially at the beginner ranks, when you're playing players for the first time in a DYP and you're playing professional players, you're going to get passed on a lot. And you're just be like, what the fuck? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to stop this pass. And you're just going to be waving your 5 row really, really fast, thinking like, how are they passing on me? I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm moving my 5 row fast. I'm moving it slow. And that's because you just haven't played long enough to develop that sixth sense. But what I'm going to show you today, we're just going to go through and look at some of the defenses that I like a lot and certain strategies that I really like a lot. Okay, so this first clip is from Rednecky. I just got through reacting to this match. I would urge everybody, beginner, expert, player, anybody that thinks they can still learn stuff, to go watch that video. There was so much good shit happening. John Lee had a really tricky 5 row series. We got really good defense from Rudnecky, great defense and 2 bar work. How to shoot very patient. Like just overall, this is a pro master caliber player. But really, what we're looking at right now, we're just looking at 5 row defense. And so Greg got a steal or a loose ball or whatever. Let's look at Rudnecky's 5 row. Look at this already. He is not even down here, and Rudnecky is already ready to go. He's just like this like rabid dog, like he is he is fronting on Greg Mendel like, oh fuck. Look at this deep, like look how fast the 5 row D is. Like again, boom, 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 boom. And so this is my favorite defense to use of all time, and I think for a few reasons. Because what we want to do is what foosball is like, it's a game of percentages. And so what we're trying to do as a defender is to bring down those percentages. And when you're playing a pro master player like Tony Spreedman, Tom Spear, Gummison, whoever, Robbie, Gummison, whatever, they're going to pass at a very high percentage. And what we want to do as somebody who's not as good as them is bring down their percentage to where it's 50-50. They're going to like you're bringing down the percentage to the point where they're having to guess, because then it's just 50-50, and you can, if you can get it down to 50-50, then you can win because you're going to get enough stops that if your offensive game is good enough, you're going to win. Like you're going to get those passes, you're going to get those shots. And so look at what Rednecky's doing here. Look how fast he's buzzing, but he's not just buzzing for the sake of buzzing. He's buzzing and then he's sticking on up. And then he's buzzing and he's sticking on down. And he's buzzing and he's going back to the down and he's staying on there. But he's not staying on there for so long that you can anticipate, oh, it's going to be a huge hole. I can just wait for it. So, again, let's really look at what he's doing. Bzzz, and he's stopping, and he's stopping on the wall. He brought it down. It might have been a wall pass, so he's like, oh, I'll stop on the wall. And so what he's doing, he's forcing that other person to guess, but more than that, he's diving to the wall and saying like, no, I want to stick on the wall just a little bit. I'm not just buzzing, because if he was buzzing, Greg could just do a wall all day long. And so you're sticking on these open, like the holes, just long enough to, like, I guess, beat the pass. Like if he happens to pass up, you're on it. If he has to pass down, you're buzzing it and you stick on it for a little bit, you're going to be on it. So this is for me, this is the number one defense, and I use this all the time. And it definitely takes work. Is I use this all the time on like pro master players. Like I won't do this type of defense on experts and below because I feel like maybe something else is better. Maybe I don't want to exert that much effort. But if you're gonna just say like, hey, I'm gonna go 100% into blocking every single pass, this is the defense you use. Again, let's look at it a couple more times. Look at it. Bzz, bzz, and he stops. He's still got the pass, but are you telling me he's really looking at that pass? No, man, he's not looking at that pass. Rednecky was all over this area. He's cutting it to 50-50. He guessed, he hit it right, but because, because it's not even like a, oh, I see it's open, I'm gonna pass it and catch it. It's more of like, I hope it's there, but because his attention's like not 100% because he doesn't know that it's gonna be there, he drops it. So this is a defense you guys need to have, and definitely be sure you're not jarring the table. And Rudnicky's not jarring the table. Get a feel for how far you can move before you draw the table, but definitely understand that you're not just buzzing back and forth 100% of the time. You're buzzing it, and you are sitting on a wall for like a split second, and then you're buzzing it, and you're going back to the wall for a split second. And so when you're doing these random like you don't even know what you're doing. You're just like bzz, wall, bzz, lane, bzz, wall, bzz, wall, bzz. Like you just have this random nature about when you decide to stop moving, and when you decide to stop moving, it's not for a few seconds or a second. It's like a half second. So let's just check this out one more time. This is the defense you guys want to use if you want next level 5 defense. Okay, let's go to another one. What was this one? Oh, I think Rico. Oh. So I was just like, okay, I know Rico has great 5 offense, defense. Billy Pappas, offense, defense. Let's check out what they're doing on each other. So Rico gets it, and so Billy has the same exact defense as Rudnecky. He's sticking on lane or wall, but it's just slow. Like he's not giving you that fast buzz in between. He's just like wall, lane, lane, lane wall. Like he is committing to one of the two holes and he's doing it at a random pace, but he doesn't have that super buzzy nature about it. But it's basically the same thing as Rudnicky's. It's just it doesn't have that frenzy pace. So let's check it out. Look. But at the same time, when you're moving, like he's flicking the 5 back and forth, it gives the illusion that he's moving it fast to the passer. So, um, good shit, man. I mean, look, by doing this random nature, you're not in no man's land at any time. You're not chasing the pass. What you are doing is you're committing to lane and wall at a random rate and a random length of time that you're stopping. It's like two different measurements. One is how fast you're switching the holes, and the other one is how long you're staying on those holes. So very mathematical, very, I don't know, there's a beauty to defense. There's an art to this defense. And so just again, let's just look at Billy's 5 is he's sticking on the wall, but he's still random. He's coming off it, and sometimes he fakes like he's coming off it, but he's staying on it. And when you're doing that, when you're doing those types of things, just like Rednecky, you're forcing the defender how to get. Like you're forcing them to guess. You're breaking it down to 50-50, and all you're hoping for is a steal, something else. So one more time, look at Billy's D. Just very, it's just like Rudnicky's, only instead of buzzing, he's staying on that one hole. But it's very similar to Rednecky's. It's a little bit more, maybe a little bit more efficient. I definitely use this one too. Instead of the fast buzzing, I'll just use Billy's where you're just like, oh, I'll just be on one hole or the other, and I will fake like I'm coming off, or I'll stay on it a little bit longer. But I'm not gonna waste all this energy into buzzing. But so two totally like they look totally different. It looks like, hey, the wall's open, but he's not in no man's land. When he decides to chase, he chases. Just good stuff, great stuff. And again, like this is two blocks in a row against arguably a top five bar in the world, and it doesn't look hard, does it, guys? But what you're doing is you're just, hey, I don't even know if I'm trying to talk you into anything. What I am doing is trying to make it so you have to guess. And it's like, if I don't even know how long I'm sticking on a hole, how are you going to know? And that's exactly what Billy's doing here is this thing was huge. If he would have waited on it, um, if he was looking for it, it could be huge. But because of Billy's motion is very random, like a calculated random, he's guessing. He's not reading this wide open hole here. And I know he reads the holes, but because Billy's defense is very like it is what we're talking about here. It's like random, but not really random. Um, it's forcing Frederico to guess, and then he gets it a second time, and what does he do? It's like that. That was wall. Oh, well, now he goes lane, and he's just guessing, and Billy's on it. And I don't know, like I would love to. Billy probably wouldn't remember that. But what he's doing is like I don't even know if I meant to block him there. All I know is I'm being random, and he hit it into my guy. I'm not trying to trick him anything. I'm not trying to engage in this chess match where Frederico might win because he is the number one player of all time. What I'm trying to do is get it down to 50-50. And then if I can get it down to 50-50, I might be able to get in his head a little bit more. And then it's like 60-40. So this is the type of defense you guys want to use. And it is not hard at all. It's just, it's just a philosophy that we have to learn. It's, hey, this is a technique we have to learn. If what we're doing on the five row is not working, this is just one more thing we can throw at somebody where it's like, hey, if you're beating me in the chess match and you're winning the five row, fuck it. I'm gonna make it so you have to guess. And this is what Billy did. This is what Rednecky did, and they're doing it against world caliber players, and they're bricking them, and it's because they're making them guess. So learn these two different defenses already. All right, it is vodka and fresca time. I pulled up this one. I was trying to find Robbie Mares because I know he's got really for net. He's got great 5 D, but then this one came up, and I think it was Tony or Serge. So again, same defense as Rudnecky, same defense as Billy, but he's a lot faster. He's like almost in the middle of Rudnecky and Billy. But the principle is exactly the same. You are sticking on Waller Lane, and it's random. So let's look at it. He's like, bzz, stop, bzz, stop, bzz. No, I'm going to stop on the wall. Oh, I'm showing you that. And credit, I mean, we're not looking at other shit here. We're not analyzing the game. This is how you beat that defense. And of course, Tony is one of the best five bars in the world. He just waits on that wall pass to get fully open, which is how you beat this type of defense. Like you pick your hole and you wait and you wait and you wait and you're very patient and then you take it. And that's what Tony did. But this is not bad fibro from Surge. I mean, he is moving. He's making Tony guess, and Tony guesses right. He very easily could have went into some off the wall, something else. He reads it right. He hits it right. So props to Tony. Like he won the chess match, but this is not a fail from Surge right here because again, like imagine you're Tony. Imagine you're doing a far wall tic tac or near wall and you're trying to time this defense. Look, he's sticking on the wall. He's sticking on the lane. Like he's making it so it's 50-50 guess. So like this is right here like the defense I'll probably use like again 90% of the time. If I want to kick it up a notch, I'll go a little bit faster to be Rudneckies, and if I'm playing somebody every now and then I'll slow it up just to throw something else at them. But essentially, this is Fibro philosophy, the Fibro defense philosophy. You want to make them guess. You want them to fall into your traps. And if you're doing this, you can sort of bait them into traps, but because you're moving a little bit faster, it's very well disguised. All right, let's go to this one. So we did this one yesterday, and so this is completely different. This is when you're playing somebody, maybe a noob, maybe somebody you never played before, and I played Ryan Moore a lot. I beat him in doubles a few times, and I beat him on the fibro a few times, only because I played Tom Spear. Like I played Robbie. Like I am not a noob to fibro. And when Ryan first showed up to Denver, he was just like, I don't know you. Like I'm gonna roll over you. It's like, no, man, I played world class foosball, so you can't do this stuff to me. And this is the stuff that Brandon's gonna do to Evan here is he's not moving fast. What he's doing right here is check this out. He's just staying on the wall. Like he's staying on the wall. And by doing that, this is a different type of defense. And this is the defense you want to give to like rookies, amateurs, maybe some experts, people that you think are hitting and hoping, like people that you think are not really reading your defense. They're just going into motion with a whole bunch of crafty passes. This is how you force people to read your defense. And watch. Uh, well, sorry. I already reacted to this, so maybe you go into that. But what Brandon is doing is he's sticking on the wall. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry, guys. Okay, so I guess I'm talking in this. And so look at Brandon's defense. It is not herky, it is not frenzy. It is not um, picking certain holes randomly. It is very clearly dictating, hey, I'm going to sit on one hole and I'm going to force you into this other hole. And so this is brilliant. And so you have to have this strategy. I should have picked the original. I'm very sorry, guys, because I'm already breaking this down in the actual reaction video. So we can't just go back and see it. Um, so what you guys want to do is go back to the original reaction video and I'll break it down in detail. But ultimately, what Brandon was doing is he's sticking on the wall. He's not buzzing. He is forcing his opponent to look at the defense and to take this wide open hole. And maybe that person gets it, but by sitting on the hole versus that very frenetic pace, you are forcing that person into a hole, and then you can get that steal. So I think that's what happens here is he's sitting on it. He's sitting on it so often. Yeah, that's what it was. He's sitting on it so often. Oh my gosh, guys. He's sitting on it so often that Evan says like, "Well, I gotta go lane," and by that time, Brandon's just like, "I roped you into this lane so easy because I knew you're gonna have to hit that, and I could come out and get the steal." So this is another type, like just like when we were talking about goalie defense, how you need 4 or 5 different defenses, and you kind of cycle through them every possession and every few seconds you're cycling through them. Same thing with the fibro. Like Rudnecky's defense is great, Billy Pappas's defense is great, but every now and then you got to throw in like Brandon's defense. You got to throw in something off speed, something slow where you're like, hey, like what is this? Like I don't get this. You're giving me this huge hole, and because it's very new, it's like, whoa, what just happened? You're not able to pull the trigger. So this is a defense you guys have to learn. All right, next one. What is this? Robert and James. I really wanted to get some of Robbie's fibro defense because I think he has excellent fibro defense. Um, but then I wanted to catch this like 3 to the 5 pass. Like Robbie is not even blocking. He doesn't have a hand back here. He is just fully committed to blocking the 2 row. Look at that pass. Fantastic pass. Robbie even was up there, but just awesome. I mean, that's awesomeness. And you got to have a lot of balls to do that against somebody as good as Robbie. But okay, so turn this down a little bit. Let's look at Robbie's Fyro D. He gets it through, but Robbie was on it and it kind of snuck through because he didn't commit fully to the wall. But again, let's just check it out. Look, like he's buzzing and he's sticking on one hole. Buzz wall, buzz lane, buzz lane, buzz wall, buzz lane. Like there's a running theme here. Is like you're buzzing, but when you're buzzing, you're on those holes. You're not letting that defender get a read on the pattern. Versus when you're playing amateurs and experts and even some pros, they give you very lazy defense, very like a defense that's not buzzing, not forcing you to execute that thing at a very high level. Look at Robbie, and he gets it. Like he dives to the wall, but because like he just had a little too much buzz, he got a piece of it and it's still stuck through. So same thing as Rednecky, same thing as Billy. Um, the when I am playing my best, when I am playing anybody, this is the defense that I fucking hate coming against because it forces the player, it forces the 5-row to be perfect. It forces your ups to be crispy. Like you're not going to get a very soft up against that kind of defense. Like, I mean, look at this. Um, you can't afford to do like a soft brush because he's too fast. He's going to get a piece of it. He's going to block it, deflect it, whatever. And so it just puts a lot of pressure on this offensive fibro to hit things perfect, to hit things very crispy. And again, how do you beat it? Wall. Like you need to start dictating things. Okay. And I don't remember what happened here, but look
And
at
let's
Horton's defense. I think I just clicked in Horton because I knew I was going to get fast defense.
head to the third and final set of
Look,
this open doubles semifinal.
this is again, this is the exact same as
And
Robbie,
head to
as
the third.
Rudnecky, as Surge. When you're playing elite players, even as like you can learn this type of defense as a rookie. You might not have everything, you might not be able to set traps, but what they're doing when like it's the exact same thing as Robbie, and this might be it a little better because he's not as buzzy. He's committing a lot more often, but so he's buzzing, he's committing, he's buzzing, he's committing, and he's staying on the commit. He's varying the commit times. So we already talked about that.
Third and final set of this
What like
open
there's
doubles semifinal.
two variables in your defense. It is how often you are committing and how long you are committing.
Horton and Viney.
Let's check this out one more time. Ah, come on, come on. Like, look at Horton's defense. Rob Atha, again, elite player in the world, but because of this defense, because you're buzzing and you're sticking on the two holes, you're not sticking on the middle, you're sticking on the lane and the wall. You're never sticking in no man's land ever. Look, he sticks here and he sticks wall. He sticks here and it's wall. And he sticks here and Rob hits it into there. You are never sticking in no man's land. You're either wall or lane. And again, for the very like I'm repeating it. I know I am. I'm sorry, but we need to understand this. By doing like the two variables that you need to get on your table and practice, and you need to just get on your table and practice it. Um, just like you would a 5-row pass. Like just sit there and just practice your defense. Go brr, lane, lane, brr, wall. You have to have those two variables. I'm going to stick on lane or wall at a random amount of time. And when I do decide to stick on it, I'm going to stick on it for a random amount of time. And when you're mixing those two things up, and maybe you start setting traps here and there, you're forcing it. I don't care who is across the table from you. I don't care if it's Tony Spreeman. I don't care if it's Rob Atha. I don't care if it's fucking Doctor Strange who can predict the future. You are forcing them to guess. And if you can get them down to 50-50, then you can start setting little traps, and then maybe you tilt the odds in your favor and you can win that game because foosball is an offensive game. And trust me, when if Johnny Horton gets the ball in his 5 row and he can get a read on the passes, then he's gonna win. I mean, this is just fantastic, like fantastic 5 row. Look at this. Look at this. Can you imagine trying to pass on that? And even when you do sort of think you have it, because he's so fast, he's getting a piece of it. So I don't know. Let's just fast forward. Again, this is 3 blocks in a row against a world class player, and he is not. He is relentless on this 5 row D, and it's the exact same thing he's doing. And this is something a rookie could do, but you just have to understand the theory behind it. I got to be random. I have to be willing to, as long as I'm committing. He might beat me, but at least he's not going to beat me like through the chess way of beating me. He's going to beat me because he just guessed right. I mean, four was it 4 or 5 blocks in a row, and eventually he gets the steal. Outstanding 5 row D. Like this is the 5 row D I use all the time. Again, look at that. And finally, Rob, look at this. He's moving. He's sticking. He was sticking on that for a long time. He moves. Rob goes into the double, like the tic tac wall, and he gets it. Great pass by Rob, but we'll take it. We will take 1 pass out of 5 or 4, like whatever that was. So I think this is it. In turn, like let's see what Rob's 5 row D is on Johnny's. Let's fast forward. Okay, here we go. Let's look at Rob's defense. So same. It's almost the same thing as Johnny's. It's not as fast, and he didn't stick on the wall a lot, but he definitely did a little bit of chasing. And if you're going to chase, you got hats off to Johnny for having better offense. But the same type of defense, you're moving it and you're just sticking on one of the two holes. He went up, he got it. So again, so this whole video is how do we have good 5 row D? Are we going to have good 5 row D that's very slow? Maybe. If your opponent is new, if they're an expert and below, maybe you can get in their head. But once you start reaching that high expert level, pro master level, it's going to become a chess match. And if you're a lower level player, you're not going to beat somebody who's been playing 20 years. Like you're just not. And so what you need to do is bring them back down to earth, make them start guessing. And that's what Johnny did. That's what Robbie did. That's what Rednecky, that's what Serge did. And you're just forcing that other team to guess. So I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty good video. I hope you guys go home and you work on those two things, the length of time between your buzzing and then the amount of time that you're sticking on those two holes. And go back to my videos. Go back and watch Rudnecky. Go back and watch Johnny Horton. Go back and watch Surge. Go back and watch Billy. Like this is how we get better. Like you're not just gonna all of a sudden learn how to have great 5 row D. Like you need to go study these videos. You need to go to Inside Foods. You need to subscribe to Inside Foods. Like if you want to get good, if you want to become the best, we become the best when we surround ourselves with the best. This is not something just for foosball. This is for work, for like a different type of hobby. Like if you're just hanging out with people who are average, you're going to be average. If you're hanging out with people who are pursuing greatness, you're going to be great. And so this is what you want to do. Like you want to just go to Inside Foosball. I think they have a great special in terms of buying like it's like a subscription where you can just get like every match you ever wanted for like $200. Man, if I was a fucking rookie, I would do that in a heartbeat. You guys should do that. And just by watching it, you're going to just start to absorb that into your game and you're just going to start to understand how to have great Fibro D. And make no mistake, if you have great Fibro D, that is just like having a great 3 bar or a great Fibro. Like it's an element to the game that's going to give you 3 or 4, maybe 5 possessions a game, and that's a lot. That's enough to win the match by itself. It's definitely enough to check out other players. If you have great defense and you have defenders who are just a little emotional and they're not able to pass on you, they're going to check out. They're going to give up. And it's just an easier path. The faster you can put somebody away, the faster that you just go to the I don't know, go to the front desk and circle your name because people hate getting stonewalled here, and it's just such an important element to the game. All right, I have been rambling long enough. I think this is a very great video for players looking to develop a good fibro defense. Mahalo, guys.